Oh, welcome ladies and gents. Got another video on Snow White, the reboot, and Rachel Zegler, because there's a lot of brand experts now coming out and saying, oh, what we've all been saying. The likelihood is that Disney is probably having crisis talks with Rachel Zegler now and trying to figure out how to change stuff. Now, I think it's important to note is that Rachel Zegler is, although naive, young, etc., is just being a mouthpiece for the studio. Now, I'm not condoning any of her actions, FYI. She's being paid for it and stuff. But it is important to note is this is direct from Disney. So these kind of crisis talks are Disney wiping up their own shit. That's as sort of purely blunt as I can put it. It is them going, we've got excrement all over the place and we did this to ourselves. Oh no. So yeah, you did, you idiots. Because make no mistake, the stuff that she's saying is pre-approved, it's pre-planned, and it was given to her. It's talking points. This isn't 1938 or whatever it is that they were saying. You know, this isn't your Snow White. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. No one wants to watch it then, do they? Let's be honest. So let's dive into this today, because this is just a joke. And she has become the internet's like punch bag at this point in time. But she's so disingenuous even in her apologies and stuff like that. It becomes quite difficult to really take her seriously. And I'm not one to sit here and go, well, you know, she deserves all this kind of hatred and stuff. But, you know, like I said, it's just difficult to take her seriously even in her apologies. So let's take a look. Hit subscribe if you're new here. And let's go. So, exclusive. Branding experts warn Rachel Zegler backlash it will, ruin Disney's big budget Snow White remake and predict executives will be having crisis talks in order to win back fans ahead of 2024 release. Now, this isn't saying anything that we haven't said already in this sort of sphere of YouTube, but it's important to note, as Disney falls out of favour with the public, you have mainstream media websites parroting what we have said. And then they obviously get experts in to sort of quantify it, which is interesting and compelling, and that's why I'm taking a look at it. But this isn't stuff this isn't new. Like, we've been saying this for a while, is that they're going to be really annoyed, they're going to be concerned. So Rachel is 22. Loads of people say that that's why you shouldn't mock her, and it's like, no, that doesn't mean anything. Jenna Ortega is younger than her and is much more astute. Caused uproar online after admitting she hated the original movie, and yet there's so many contradictions with this girl, honestly. And this is why you know she's a mouthpiece for Disney. And she hasn't been in anything good either. It's important to note she's been in copious amounts of box office flops. So West Side Story was a huge failure, lost loads of money. And then she was in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. That lost loads of money. And now she'll be in Snow White, and it will lose loads of money. So the West Side Story actress insisted her Snow White could not be dreaming about true love. Yep, sure. Oh, goddamn, shouldn't have done that. So, and there's more as well. PR and marketing executives warned her comments could have a negative impact on the movie's success when it is released in March of 2024. And then there's also like a whole bunch of feminists as well saying, you know, what you want about, like, you're, and you know, she's pretty hot, to be fair, when she's done up anyway. You know, it's saying like, oh, you know, you're basically a feminist. Like every corner of the internet hates this woman now. Like I said, she is the internet's punch bag. So this is interesting for a few reasons. Like I said, Rachel Zegler's comments about the upcoming live-action Snow White remake could have a huge impact on ticket sales. And these are branding experts. They warned. And like, do you need a branding expert to tell you that this dunce is going to ruin your film? I mean, come on. Everyone's been saying this. So, yeah, she branded the original storyline weird while referring to the prince as a stalker. He wasn't a stalker. That's so moronic. The big budget Disney movie is scheduled for release in March of 2024. I don't think it's going to get released then. And I do think that there is some potential prospect. It's not going to get cancelled. It should get cancelled. But there is some potential chance that this will get relegated to Disney Plus. There is potential for that. So, the backlash occurred after several videos of Rachel speaking negatively about the original film in various interviews last year resurfaced online, where she said of her version of the character, she's not going to be saved by the prince and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. As well as being labelled a fake feminist, some critics accused Rachel of gaslighting, and one marketing consultant has warned that Disney will need to be careful with how they have portrayed Snow White. Yeah. Yeah, massively so. Like, again, obvious. Speaking to the Daily Mail, branding expert Carla Spate said, while it's been clear that the original Disney princess films hold old values, Disney have fallen for the trap of going to the opposite extreme to inflict strong and loaded messaging on the viewers, believing that's empowerment. There was a time when Disney actors were media trained, this is true, and were thoughtful about the impact of their words while sticking to key messaging about the film, but it seems that this was a total rewrite. The Snow White picturing her as a girl boss has gone to the heads of their stars. I disagree. I think they are staying on messaging. I think she is absolutely staying on message. The message is, I am a girl boss. The message is, you want to watch this movie. The message is, out with the old, in with the new. I think she's well on message, actually. Just trained by idiots. So Disney will need to be careful with how they have portrayed Snow White and what they do and don't allow their actors to say about it going forwards. They simply cannot repeat the same mistakes and allow their actors to be so vocal in their own personal opinions during their promotions. It's not her opinion. It can have a huge impact on ticket sales, especially with the amount of negative backlash so early in the promo trail. They need to get the key messaging and strong selling point into the brief for the cast of the film to ensure they stick to it. If they don't, it's a disaster waiting to happen and the backlash will keep growing. It's possibly a good idea to get Rachel to clarify what she means and highlight it was her own personal opinion, not a slight on women. But it was. They should highlight the important message that it's okay to be who you want to be. After all, Disney has been famously telling that they're the place where dreams do come true. And have never actually defined what those dreams should be. Neither should their actors. PR expert Nick Edge agrees and told Daily Mail that perhaps Rachel isn't the best person to promote the film. Yeah. Fucking no way. Like, obviously, excuse language. Rachel is a big-name star, playing one of the world's most famous fairy tale characters immortalised by Disney. Their first feature animation, actually. But instead of taking the lead of The Little Mermaid's Halle Bailey and embracing her role, Rachel has actively chosen to spoil the narrative and express the new direction she's taken Snow White in. This is by no means a wrong move in Snow White and other stories. If they were written today, would have different nuances and narratives. But the fact that she's actively being negative about the source material and laughing off the old Disney film and the fairy tale makes her look too eager to show off the new version and shows little or no respect to the previous version and other iterations. I'm sure Disney executives must be having crisis talks and thinking perhaps their new Snow White isn't the best person to promote the film. Yeah, obviously. It's pretty obvious that this is the case. But like I said, she is just the internet's punchbag. Again, labelled a fake feminist. Even women hate her now. Like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Just because a woman's values are something different does not make her any less valuable. Some women want a career and not marriage. Some women want marriage or family and not a job. And some women want both. All are to be heard and seen and valued. Write stories about all women and depict them all as valuable and worthy instead of trying to mould them into one specific image of what you dream worthy. Thank you. Yeah, there's loads of this. It's all over the internet. So, yeah, funny, slammed by feminists, slammed by PR experts. This movie is doomed and it is dead on arrival.